All right, welcome. Today, we're doing more than just learning a few tricks for using AI. We're diving into a masterclass that's really designed to change the way you interact with it, to take you from just a user to an architect of dialogue. So let me start with a question, and I want you to really think about this for a second. Are you commanding your AI, or are you collaborating with it? Because the difference between those two words, well, that's the difference between getting a basic answer and co-creating something truly brilliant. This whole idea actually maps right onto communication theory. Most people operate in what's called the transmission model. It's a one-way street. You send a command, you get a response. Simple. But the transaction model, that's where the magic is. It's a two-way dialogue. It's collaborative. And our goal today is to give you the tools to live entirely in that collaborative space. And that journey begins right here with what I call the art of the ask. We're going to look at prompt engineering not as a list of commands, but as a way to genuinely guide the AI's mind. But, to guide it, you first have to understand it. So what exactly are we talking to? Well, at its core, a large language model, or LLM, is really just a prediction engine. Its entire existence is built around answering one single question. Based on all the text that came before, what is the most likely word to come next? It's kind of like the autocomplete on your phone, just, supercharged with billions of parameters and trained on a mind-boggling amount of the internet. To make that feel a little more real, let's try a few analogies. You could think of an LLM as a fill-in-the-blanks expert that has read almost everything ever written. Or maybe like a jazz musician who just knows the next best note to play in a solo. But my favorite way to think about it, it's a storytelling partner. You start the story, and it knows exactly where to go next because it's already internalized every story ever told. It's all about predicting that next logical piece. But for an AI to predict anything, it first has to understand our language. And here's the catch. It doesn't understand words. It only understands numbers. And that's where something called tokenization comes in. This is the crucial first step. It's the bridge that connects our world of language to its world of math. It works by breaking down our sentences into these smaller pieces called tokens. Take a look at this simple example. When we write prompt engineering is an essential skill, the AI doesn't see a phrase. It sees a sequence of tokens. And notice how even the period at the end gets its own token. This is how the AI deconstructs our world so it can understand it in its own. Okay, so now that we have a sense of how an LLM thinks and listens, we can actually start to guide it. And the most powerful way to do that is with a concept called in-context learning, which is really just a fancy way of saying teaching by example. Now, the most basic level, and this is probably what you're already doing, is called zero-shot prompting. You give the AI a direct command with 0 examples, and you just hope its previous training is good enough. It's like asking a coworker to do something and just assuming they already know how. A simple command like this relies completely on the AI's built-in knowledge. It's easy, it's direct, but it's not very precise. It's the transmission model, pure and simple. You're just sending information one way. But this is where we start to elevate the whole conversation. With one-shot prompting, we give the AI one single, clear example. See the shift? We're not just telling it what to do, we're showing it. We're giving it a template to follow. Just look at this prompt. We don't just say, be poetic. We show it exactly what we mean. The first pair of sentences is our template. The second is our task. By providing that one shot, that single example, we have just dramatically improved our odds of getting the creative, nuanced output we're actually looking for. Now, if one example is good, you can probably guess what's even better, right? Especially for more complex tasks. Few-shot prompting is where we give the AI 2, 3, or even more examples. This builds a much stronger, more reliable pattern for the model to follow, which cuts down on ambiguity and really boosts the precision. The key here is all about pattern recognition. In this example, after the AI sees the format for John Doe and Jane Smith, it doesn't have to guess what to do for Peter Jones. It knows the exact pattern. We've taken the guesswork right out of the equation. Okay, but what about tasks that need more than just matching a pattern? What about problems that require real logic, actual reasoning? For that, we have to go beyond just showing the AI the final answer. We have to start showing it our work. And this is the pinnacle of prompt engineering, chain of thought. Chain of thought, or a COT, is a technique where the examples we provide don't just have the question and the answer. They include all the little reasoning steps in between. We are literally teaching the AI how to think about a problem by forcing it to break it down into smaller, logical pieces. Let's see this in action with a classic Rogers tennis balls problem. On the left, a standard prompt just gives the answer, 11. The AI has no idea how we got there. But on the right, this is where we collaborate. We're thinking aloud with the AI. So, we start. Roger started with 5 balls. Okay, easy enough. Next step. 2 cans of 3 tennis balls each is 2 times 3, which is 6. Make sense? And the final step. So, 5 plus 6 equals 11. By laying out that chain of thought, we don't just get the right answer. We create a logical path that makes the AI so much more accurate on complex problems. And this brings us right back to our main theme, doesn't it? Chain of thought fully realizes that transaction model. The conversation becomes a true dialogue where the model is thinking aloud. It's showing us its work, and that allows us to co-create a result that is far more reliable. We've got one more crucial tool for our toolkit. This one is a parameter that lets us tune the AI's voice. Think of it like a creativity dial. It's called temperature. So temperature basically controls randomness. If you set the temperature low, the AI becomes very factual, very deterministic. It's going to pick the most common, safest words every time. This is perfect for things like writing code or summarizing a technical report. But when you turn that temperature up, the AI gets creative. It starts considering less likely words, it becomes more unpredictable, more spontaneous. This is what you want for brainstorming ideas or drafting marketing slogans. So just remember, low temp for facts, high temp for flair. Wow, okay. We have covered a lot. We've looked at how an AI thinks, how it listens, and we've walked through some incredibly powerful techniques to guide it. So let's pull all of this together into your personal communication toolkit. From now on, I want you to think of yourself as the conscious driver. And in your toolkit, you now have 0, 1, and few-shot prompting, which lets you teach by example. You have chain of thought, which unlocks step-by-step reasoning. And you have temperature control, which lets you dial in the exact tone you need, from factual to fantastical. These are your instruments. This is how you conduct the conversation. Because after today, you're no longer just a user firing off commands. With this toolkit, you've become something much more powerful. You are the architect of the dialogue. So my final question to you is this. Now that you have the tools, what new, what more complex, what more creative and powerful conversations will you choose to start?